let's get started. Now, one thing, yesterday we had a discussion around Google Classroom link, okay? And a lot of you were asking like where to get the Google Classroom link. So I hope that, as mentioned earlier, you can always WhatsApp or send SMS or call on this number and get the link for the Google Classroom. Okay, so that way whatever running notes are being prepared, whatever upcoming announcements are there, or any new material that gets added, all can be done through that Google Classroom link itself. So for all those who are joining us, like who were there yesterday, I hope that if you have already gone and joined the Google Classroom link, good. But if you are someone who has joined us yesterday but did not get an opportunity to, connect to us, or if you are someone who is joining us newly for today, then remember, I'll keep this number in the chat window as well of the go-to meeting. So you can always send a message. You can WhatsApp on this number. You can even ping on this number, normal SMS, or call on this number to get link for Google Classroom. Okay, so that way, what happens is any upcoming announcements, any running notes, all will be uploaded over there. So you can be always up to date with respect to the recent happenings. That's the first thing. Now also it's a request to you that if you are attending any of the demo sessions, like this is second demo of our series, 3-day demo series. So just do drop a note on this number itself, so that whenever the appropriate groups are formed, you are always notified of any recent trends or updates from the Harsha training side. Okay, so just drop a note on this number stating that you have attended demo 1 or demo 2 or demo 3 or all demos. Okay, fair thing. So those two introductory part I just wanted to quickly touch upon. One is send a message on this number to get Google Classroom link. Second, if you are attending demos, then also send a message stating that you have attended demo. Now we will first, what we will do is, before we actually move forward, we'll do a recap of what we studied yesterday or what we went through yesterday. So we started with trying to understand what this entire training structure is going to be. Okay, what this training program is going to be comprised of. So what is your expectation going to be, so that we can accordingly connect forward. Now we started with prerequisites on who all are eligible for this training program, any bachelor's or master's degree, probably software programmers, someone who is already part of IT industry and wants to switch over to business analyst, or someone who is belonging to non-IT industry but wants to transition their career into IT. Okay, so that would be the prerequisites, that you should have some type of working experience that you could always supplement. Okay, whether that work experience is from IT or whether that work experience is from non-IT. Now there is one more thing I would like to add over here, is that what if I have any career gaps? Okay, suppose I completed my graduation in 2021. So we got some questions yesterday. So what if I did my graduation in 2021 and then I did work for 1 year, let's say in 2022. After that 1 year work, I am sitting idle for next 2 years. Like there is some career gap, and that gap could be because of anything. Maybe you had family issues, maybe you wanted to do some other work, maybe you wanted to try your own business. So whatever be the reason, because of that reason there is some gap there. So can I still apply for it? So the answer is absolutely yes. Okay. Irrespective of whether you have gap or whether you have continuous experience, you can still apply for the business analyst training program. The only thing is you may have to connect with us again on the same number, that Harsha Trainings. Maybe you can reach out to them on how do we ensure, how do we fill in this gap that we have in our career. How can we fill in those gaps? So you can reach out to them, but the only person who is not advisable to join business analyst training program is complete freshers. Suppose someone who has completed their graduation in 2023 and it is not even 1 year. They have not worked in IT industry, they have not worked in non-IT industry, they did not work anywhere. They just completed their graduation. For those type of people, it may not be advisable. But if you are someone who has experience in IT or non-IT, whether while working, whether you have some career gaps, okay, whether you have 1 year gap, 2 year gap, 3 year gap, that is okay for all those people, unless you are absolutely fresher. So I just want to clarify, yesterday also I told about absolute freshers who just completed their graduation and are now looking for jobs. Okay, so only in those cases this may not be advisable, but other than that, if you have any type of experience, IT, non-IT, or if you have experience with career gaps or whether continuous experience, you can still enroll for this training program. Okay. Now we looked at the course content, about how this entire training program is structured into three parts. The first part being where we will build the basics, because we are saying this training program could be for people with non-IT background as well. So the first part would be about understanding the IT industry, what the industry is, how it operates, some of the common terms that are used within the industry, what is SDLC, how the software development takes place. So we'll understand the basics of that IT industry. Once we have built the basics of IT industry, then we move ahead and understand the basics of business analyst, what a business analyst is supposed to do, what are the different day-to-day activities that they will be performing, how do they gather the requirement. That will be the second part of the training program, and the third part will be for your to practice. Now while we are learning these concepts about IT industry, about business analysts, we will definitely be working through real time examples as well, how it works, what happens on real time basis, how can you avoid difficult situation, or what happens if you get into a difficult situation, how should you deal with it. So we will go through all those aspects when we are going through these concepts, along with examples, and assignments will be given to you guys for practice as well. Okay. Now, at the end of all this, once we have gone through all the concepts, we will give you one case study. So one case study will be done by me and you guys together during the classroom, and one case study will be done by you at the end of the training program, so that it will show you how much you have understood about the training program. Again, when I say at the end, it does not mean that I will leave you alone. You will be given case study while the training program continues. You will work on case study. If you have any questions, doubts, concerns, follow up, anything, we can always have the we can always use our classroom to discuss on that. Okay. So after the training program, these are the different tools that we'll be primarily learning or going through, because that is what is expected out of a business analyst, that you must have good understanding of Jira, a Visio or Draw IO tool which will help you create flowcharts, and Microsoft Office, specifically Microsoft Word, okay, which will be used for documenting requirements. Now, this was our timeline for the entire training. We said the training program would at least take 5 weeks. It could always go over 5 weeks depending on the number of questions that are being asked in the training program. So once the training has started, it will take minimum 5 weeks. At an average, we have seen that it takes somewhere around 6 to 7 weeks to complete this entire training program. Okay. Now, what is it that I am, expected to learn from this training? Now, this is something that we have not discussed yesterday, so we'll start it from today. So, any training program that you enroll in, what's the agenda? What's the intention of joining any training program? So, ideally, there are two things. One, we want to learn, and second, we want to get job. Okay, so we will look at both parts. What is it that I'm going to learn when I am done with this training program? And the second is with respect to job. Because eventually we just don't want to learn things. Eventually we want to get a job as well in that. Okay, so we'll discuss on both. Now, the first thing that you will learn is what's the role and importance of a business analyst? Like why a business analyst even exists in this entire IT industry. What do they do? Okay. What are their day-to-day activities look like? Once we understand their role, maybe how can we plan for it? What all planning or maybe an estimation that is needed for me to do my BA responsibilities? How am I going to get requirements from the stakeholders? Requirements will be in what form? How do I translate those requirements into documents? What kind of documents do I need to prepare? How do I write things in the document? How do I ensure that I'm not making more mistakes while working on it? What are some of the common learnings from my experience that can be used to avoid or come over any mistakes? Then, how do I identify stakeholders? How do I talk to these stakeholders? How can I ensure that, if there is any mistake, it does not come on to me? Okay. How do I communicate to my team? Because eventually, when I write requirement, what will happen is I'm not going to write code. As we discussed yesterday, business analyst is a non-coding role. So I'm not going to write code to create a software. I'm going to give requirements to the developer, and that developer is going to write the code. So how am I going to share requirements to the developer? Okay. How am I going to communicate and ensure that developer is doing their work as needed? Okay. Now, what are the different skills that may be needed in order for me to do all these things? Requirement gathering, talk to the BA with respect to uh, what is actually needed. Now, in all these things, you may be having a doubt like what is a requirement? Okay, what is supposed to be meant by requirement gathering, what is this requirement elicitation, what is this documentation? So we will just quickly touch upon that before we move forward with the next part. So requirements are means to explain the basic necessities of the software. Okay. So what does that mean is if I have to build a software, it is not enough for me to tell you guys, hey, I want a software. You will naturally ask the next question as, hey, Rahul, what kind of software? Okay. Let us know what is your business model going to be. So maybe then what I can say is maybe I want to compete with Amazon, Flipkart. So I want to build my own website. Okay, so maybe give me an e-commerce platform. So if I tell you that give me an e-commerce platform, is that enough for you to build a software? No, you need more details on it. Like Rahul, for us for us to build an e-commerce software for you, first you tell me how are you going to do registrations? Okay, if you log in, if you try going to Amazon, Flipkart, they always ask you like if you are a new user, register yourself. If you are an existing user, then log in. Okay. Once you register and log in, then what you do is maybe you search for products. Once you have searched for product, some items will disappear, some items will appear. Then you review for information against the product, like what's the price of the product, what's the detail of the product, how much warranty does it have, if customers have given any reviews, what kind of reviews they have given. Okay, so you scan through all those details or all those information. Then once you are done with that information, maybe you will add items to cart, or before adding items to cart, maybe you will check for availability. Then availability can be checked using pin code. Then maybe add items to cart if it is available at my pin code. Then add address, make payment, and done. So you see there are so many different aspects. So maybe then you will start asking me, Rahul, what about registration? How are we going to do registration? How is someone supposed to do login using mobile number and OTP or mobile number and password? Okay, so you see, when we talk about all these different aspects in detail, the outcome of it will be requirements. Okay, so just by telling you I need some software will not work. If I tell you I need e-commerce software, that is also not good enough. I need to explain to you what all different features I need in my software, how those features are supposed to work. Okay, basically all those basic necessities of the software I need to explain to you. That will form the requirement. This requirement is usually involve two people. Okay, one is stakeholder who will give requirement, and then the next is BA who will be gathering these requirements. Okay, remember, a stakeholder may have knowledge but may not know what to tell, what not to tell, and that is why a business analyst is there. Business analyst, to ensure that I ask relevant questions. I ask so many questions. I take details from the stakeholder. I ask them about everything so that I get a complete requirement in front of me. Okay. Now for gathering this requirement itself, we will use some requirement elicitation techniques like interview technique, brainstorming, DAD sessions, etc. So we'll go through all those techniques in detail during our training program, but we use some of these techniques to gather requirements from the stakeholder. Once we have gathered requirement, the end stage is to document it. Okay. So what kind of documents are used? Okay. What's the purpose of all those documents is also we are going to look through this entire training program. Okay, so in a nutshell, this is what maybe you are be going to do as a BA. But in this entire thing, if you see, there is no coding involved as such. Okay, so maybe if you are someone who don't like coding, it's the appropriate path for you. maybe if you are someone who don't like coding and still want to be part of IT industry, maybe this is one of the options for you. Now the next question comes is, suppose Rahul, I enroll in this training program. I do all the training, I go through the concepts, I have done the assignments as well time to time. Whatever assignments you gave, I did all the assignments as well. So what? What next? Okay, I want a job as well. So what is it that you can help or support or provide us with respect to job opportunities? Okay. So one thing is, for all those people who are showcasing some experience, okay, even for career gaps as well, some experience, there is always a good market opportunity for business analyst related jobs. Okay. Now, how are we going to help you secure a job? So the first thing that we do is, like I said, in during classroom, there will be case studies, okay, so that you can get to know what these concepts are, how they are applied in real time in IT industry. Basically, not just learn the concepts, learn how to apply the concepts as well. When you learn how to apply, at the end, we will also give you one more case study. One case study done during the classroom, one case study done after the classroom. That will be done by you guys so that you can actually go back and revise whatever you have learned. If you understand the concepts better, then comes the next part, that is interviews. Okay, so you can appear well for interviews or you can perform well during the interviews. So like I said yesterday, we will help you curate resumes for you, what you should write, what you should not write. We will also do your resume review as well. Okay, so once we discuss on what to write, what not to write, how to prepare resume, you all will be asked to prepare your resume and share with me so that I can review it and give you any feedback if any changes are needed in your resume. Once your resume is finalized, start applying for jobs. Now you can yourself look for jobs on Naukri.com, on LinkedIn, or on other job portals. At the same time, Harsha Trainings team will also look for jobs that they come across, and those jobs will be posted on the Google Classroom or on the WhatsApp group that will be created for the students that enroll in this program. Okay. Now, once you get the link either through Google Classroom or on the WhatsApp, you can apply. Like I said, even you can look for jobs on your end. We will also be looking for jobs on our end, and you can apply it either side. Now, once you have applied for the job, what will happen next is for the interviews. Okay. Now, while you are applying for jobs, we will get you prepared for interviews as well. Okay. I'll share with you a list of questions that are more commonly asked during interviews. During the classroom, we will prepare together the answer for those questions. Okay. So I'll give you reference on what the answer should be, and then you have to prepare it in your own words. The reason why I emphasize on preparing answers on your own words is so that you can remember it. If I give you an answer, you will have to mug it up. Because it is my answer, you may not remember it upfront. You will have to mug it up. But if you prepare an answer in your own words, I will give you the reference points, but if you prepare in your own words, you will remember it for longer duration. Okay, but in either case, I will share the questions, list of questions. We will discuss those questions and their answers in the class itself, so that if you get to appear for an interview during the training program or after the training program, you will always have these list of questions and answers to refer. Okay, so that we are not acting as a roadblock or a barrier for you, that if I don't get any interviews during the training, what if I get to attend an interview after the training, then how will I get access to these questions and answers? Okay, so you may not have to worry about any of it, because these will be again posted on Google Classroom link, all the questions and answers. So even after the training, you can access them. You can keep refer to them for as long as you are able to like appear for interviews. Now, is this model really working? Like looking for jobs, like you guys preparing for the training programs and then we applying for jobs and preparing for these interview questions. Is this model like working? Is it effective? Or how successful it is? Okay. So you may have these questions as well. So we'll come back to these questions in just a minute. Uh, and let me write it down over here. So we will discuss about the certifications first and then come back to these questions again. But before we discuss about the certifications, so do you guys have any questions? Yeah, I'll take the silence as no questions. Now, out of the different certifications that are available, the most popular ones are usually offered by IIBA Institute. Okay. Now, out of this, there are three certifications that are more popularly offered by IIBA: the ECBA, CCBA, and CBAP. ECBAs are more for the entry level BA. Okay. CCBA are for more experienced BAs, and CBAP is for experts BA. Okay. So ECBA for entry level, and that's where if you see what kind of experience needed, probably not required. Can I give this ECBA certification after this training program? You absolutely can appear for it, but is it advisable? No, I will not advise to appear immediately after this training program. Why? So the answer would be, if you start doing your job, do it for at least 3 to 6 months. Okay, get yourself comfortable over there and then start your investment in certifications. Okay, before getting into a job for BA, doing certifications, putting in money over there, probably you can save it in the starting. So once you get into job, maybe after doing it for three months, 3 odd months, maybe 3 to 6 months, then appear for your ECBA. In 3 to 6 months, you will not gain very good knowledge in any industry. So you can always rely on this training program and then appear for the CCBA. If you still like insist that no, I don't want to start a, I want to appear for ECBA, then go ahead. Now the reason why I'm not in emphasizing on certifications is, usually if you look for jobs related to business analyst, they do not ask for any certifications, or most of the jobs, 95% of the jobs, they do not ask for upfront certifications. But as you gain more experience, you can definitely go for certifications. Okay, so ECBA entry level certification, no experience required as such. You can definitely appear for it, but I would not advise you unless you start your work as BA and complete at least 3 to 6 months in your job, post which you can use your salary to appear for the certification. Next is CCBA certification, that requires at least 3,700 hours of experience as business analyst. Now, how are they going to check if I have 3,700 hours of experience or not? for CCA, for appearing for this certification exam is, you see, for ECBA there is no reference needed. For CCBA there are at least two references required, and the institute thinks that someone who is referring is actually confirming that you have the appropriate knowledge as well. Okay, so this would be an important part to confirm whether you have the appropriate knowledge or not. Similarly for CBAP, because it's more of an expert level in BA, so it has more training requirements. It requires experience of around 7,500 hours over the past 10 years, and again it also requires two references who could confirm that you have the required knowledge. Now, when you enroll for any of these training programs, IIBA will give you this Babook knowledge book. Okay, it's a PDF wherein different points are mentioned, and that is what they're trying to say over here, that there are six knowledge areas. So you must have experience in at least two of those six knowledge areas, or 500 hours of experience in four of six knowledge areas. When it is about CBAP, you should have more than 900 hours of knowledge in four of six areas. Okay, what these areas are? Again, these are captured in the Babook knowledge book that you get when you enroll for these certification programs. Now, the next slide talks about a fee and the exam structure. For example, normally for ECBA, you get 50 multiple choice questions that you need to complete within 90 minutes. For CCBA, again, all of these are multiple choice questions. For CCBA, 130 that you need to complete in 180 minutes. And CBAP, being more of an expert level, you have to complete 120 questions in 210 minutes. Okay. Now, exam rules, like what if I'm not able to clear this exam on first attempt? What's about the reattempts? So if I apply, then my application is usually valid for 1 year. In 1 year, I can appear for this exam 3 times. So if I fail on first attempt, I can go for second. If I fail on second, I can go for third. If I fail on third, that's it. You will have to repeat the entire process again. Again, register for the exam. Again, pay the exam fee. Okay, you have to repeat this entire thing. So in one fees, you can only give up to 3 attempts. ECBA is usually having lifetime validity. CCBA and CBAP, they have 3 year validity only. So after 3 years, either you appear for the exam again, or there are certain events, activities, or gatherings that happen, you participate on it, or you give trainings, or you participate in the events that IIBA organize, and you earn CDUs. So you can earn up to 60 CDUs, and you can use them to actually renew your certifications. If you do not have CDUs, then what's the way to renew your certification? You appear for the exam again. Okay. Now, any questions so far? Let me check in the chat box as well if someone has posted any question there. Okay. So looks like you guys are good so far. No questions. Now, before we get back to career growth, let's get back to our question uh, on the model that Rahul, you mentioned that Harsha Trainings will post for jobs in the groups and WhatsApp group and Google Classroom. We can also look for jobs, and you guys are preparing us through mock interviews. Is it really working out or not? So uh, this model actually works out. We have one candidate who was placed in an MNC last week with approximately, you can say, 16 lakhs package per annum. Now, does that mean I will also get 16 lakhs per annum? That varies from organization to organizations. That person had experience of close to 6 years. Okay, so for 6 years, 16 lakhs is a good remuneration. Now, there are couple of people, at least two from the previous batch, who are waiting for their offer letters. Okay, so everything is done with them. All the interview processes are complete and they are awaiting their offer letter. Now there are few people in the current batch, the batch fifth that is running on. So in that batch, people have already started appearing for interviews so far. Okay. Now we are obviously helping them because the batch is still ongoing. So Harsha Trainings is posting for job opportunities. If anyone's appearing for any interview class during the classroom times, then we are obviously helping them with the interview questions as well. But like I said, even if you appear for interviews after the training program, you can always refer back to our interview questions training video. You can also refer to the interview questions that will be posted on the Google Classroom as well. Okay, so that will keep you guys prepared. So yes, people are getting job from our training programs. They have secured jobs, so you can be rest assured that if you put in effort along with us, if you prepare yourself by completing the assignments, by being regular in the training program, then and appearing for interviews frequently, then you will definitely get the job. Okay. Now, what kind of and good that Nikita you asked this question. So Nikita is asking, can we get a certificate? So you will be getting training completion certificate, or you can call it as course completion certificate. Training completion or course completion certificate is what will be given to you from the Harsha trainings, that you were part of the BA training program and that you have completed this training program. So that's the only certificate that we will be helping you with. Okay. Now the next question would be that, okay, we went through the training program, we prepared for interviews, we did mock interviews, we did case study, all that helped us to secure a job. So is getting a job the final thing? Probably not. Okay. How about the career growth? What can I expect? How my career will grow as a business analyst, and what all roles and responsibilities can I expect to grow? Plus, along with the career growth, what kind of salary growth I am looking at? Okay, so this entire business analyst journey can be classified like I have mentioned over there as well: entry level, mid level, and senior level jobs. Okay, so entry level, mid level, and senior level job. Now, when you start, you usually start as a business analyst. Okay, where you are either working individually, you are trying to work under the guidance of your seniors, you are learning from them. Okay, you are learning on your own, but you are working more or less independently. Then you gradually transition to senior BA. Senior BA is where now you have the experience and you are guiding other people in your organization on how they should be doing the BA work, what mistakes they can avoid. Okay, so you are doing your work as senior BA plus you are guiding your juniors as well. Now, once this experience is over, and usually in your career for let's say 0 to 5 or 6 years, this is what probably you'll be doing, a BA or a senior BA work. Then in the mid level, you start working as a lead BA, where you manage a team of BAs. Maybe I am assigned 4 to 5 BAs, and it is up to me to give them the appropriate work. Like BA1 will work on registration plus login features. BA2 will work on search and review. BA3 will work on availability and cart. BA4 will work on address and payments, online payment stuff. Okay. So like that, because I am now a lead, so I'll have a team of BAs that I need to manage. Now, mostly nowadays, because we are transitioning to Agile, so this lead BA is also often the product owner. Okay. So someone, product owner is what? Someone who is responsible for adding or maintaining the features in a software. Okay, suppose I have e-commerce software, maybe I'll have a product owner who will be responsible for maintaining the look and feel of the product. So the product owner will then decide what new changes are needed, what existing changes can be removed, or what existing changes needs to be improved further, and they can accordingly assign the work to BAs, that this BA will do this work, some other BA will do some other kind of work. Okay. Now this business analyst work can also be called as associate product owner, because we are working in Agile. So maybe associate product owner. Now, usually in your experience from 6 years to 10 years, ideally you will be expected to do this kind of work. Now, whenever I say timeline, guys, it is not fixed timeline. Obviously, it depends on your talent as well. Someone who is sharp, someone who is learning quickly, someone who has wonderful communication skills, maybe they will become a product owner in, let's say, 5 years itself. Okay, they may not have to wait for 6 years. And then for the next senior level job, we'll look at product managers. Okay, now who are responsible for maintaining multiple products. A product owner is responsible for maintaining just one product. A product manager could be responsible for overseeing a lot of client interactions, multiple products. Maybe eventually you will become product manager. So that's what even we want our career to transform like this. Maybe start as an associate PO or business analyst, and then move ahead with a lead B or product owner role, and then eventually get to the phase of product managers. Now your salary could range while you're working. I'll give you a range. It could go from anywhere between 3 lakh, 4 lakhs to up to 40, 50 lakhs as well. Okay, especially with product managers. And if you are working on the niche product areas like trying to implement artificial intelligence or data science related programs in any of the organizations, in any of the product based organizations, you could easily expect your salary to be between 40 to 60 lakh. But that is a distant dream. Okay, that dream is still little far away, that we are not even there to work as product managers yet. Obviously we are looking for jobs in the starting of associate PO, business analyst, or a senior business analyst. So where you can expect salary somewhere in the range of 3 lakh to I would say up to 20 lakhs. Okay, that's the range. I will not give you an exact number. Okay, because there is nothing like exact salary, or there is no standard salary across organizations. It depends on what is your current package, how well you perform in the interviews. If you performed average in interviews, probably the organizations will give you only 30% hike on your current package. If you perform exceptionally well, if the organization has immediate requirement of BA, maybe they can offer 40 to 50% hike on your current package. If your current package itself is 2 lakh, 3 lakh, then obviously you cannot expect to get 20 lakh. Okay, but the career prospects from a growth perspective, from doing the variety of work side, and that too in a non-coding role, is absolutely like eye-catching for business analysts. Plus, along with the career growth, the salary growth is also lucrative when it comes to business analyst domain as well. I'm not saying that other developers or testers will earn, but given the current trend that's happening, usually we think that developers will earn better money, but even product owners and product managers can earn good amount of income as well. Now I'll take a pause over here and see if there are any questions. If anyone wants to unmute themselves and ask questions, then go ahead. If you are like feeling little bit of shy today, and if you want to post your questions, that is also good. You can write down your questions in the chat box. Okay, so Nagarjun has posted, do we have SQL requirement? So do we require SQL? So Nagarjun, as part of this entire training program, we will be capturing introduction to SQL. Okay, now what does that mean, introduction to SQL? That means I will just introduce you to what SQL is, what are the capabilities of SQL, what all can be achieved with SQL, and what are some of the starting points for you to go through SQL. What are some of the key functions that I have used as a in SQL? Probably that will be a 1 day training. But will that give you complete knowledge of SQL? No. Will that make you an expert of SQL? No. Because as a business analyst, you are probably not required to know about SQL. Okay. There are two types of roles that actually are available, and people often get confused between the two. One is called data analyst, and the other one is called business analyst. Okay, so again, I'm just reiterating, in tomorrow's class, in tomorrow's demo 3, we will talk about artificial intelligence and its impact on business analyst related work. We will also look at some of the uh, commonly asked questions, like what's the difference between data analyst and business analyst, what's the difference between a scrum master and a business analyst, which is better, or what is product owner, product manager to do with business analyst. Okay, so we will look for those terms in detail, but just to give you an overview today, a data analyst has to focus more on SQL. A business analyst has to focus more on gathering requirements. If there is no requirement, how are you going to build the software? Okay. So without SQL, I can build the software, but without requirements, I cannot build the software. Now in IT industry, there are usually two type of software development work goes on. Okay. One is called as the regular work, okay, where you are trying to build a software. For example, look at our e-commerce platform. We are giving registration option, login option, search, review, availability, all those options we are giving, so that someone could log into e-commerce website and that someone can place the order. Done. Okay, so that is like regular work includes building basic features. Nowadays, there is there is additional focus on building data related capabilities. So earlier what used to happen is, if you want people to buy your product, if you want to advertise your product, you would probably reach out to Google, Facebook, or other relevant social media platforms and ask them to share the email IDs or phone number of people who are looking for some of these products, and then you will reach out to them. Now obviously whenever you ask Google, Facebook for these kind of information, they will definitely charge you money. So either they will charge money, or you can actually post an ad through Google or Facebook. For both cases, whether to share information or whether to post ad, you have to spend money. Now, what if I could set up my own, software, and I could myself keep track of, who all are visiting my website, what all are they going through, so that I can accordingly do the marketing or advertisement among them. Okay, so that is where the next type of work, that is data related work, has started. Now, things like, suppose if I have an e-commerce website, and let's say I'm selling things across India. Now I see that in maybe in Telangana or Andhra, people are buying more. Okay, so I am doing good business over there. But maybe in Karnataka, my business is not up to the mark. Okay, so how can I get to know where I am performing well, where I am lacking? It is through the data related work. Okay, so my regular work, that is my basic software, will actually try to allow users to do the shopping. Their data on whatever they are shopping, from whichever location they are shopping, will go into some database. Against those database, we will build these reports. Okay, using those reports, I can get to know where am I doing good, where I need to improve, and accordingly I can take action. Maybe in Karnataka people are buying less from me. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's offer some promotions, discounts to people in Karnataka so that they are also buying more. Okay, so maybe these basic building features, their responsibility is to store the data, or eventually, I'm not saying that's the only thing, but eventually store the data in the database, like who bought what, at what price, from what location, and then use the database to build reports. Okay, now suppose if you registered on my e-commerce website, you bought something today. I realized that, I'm running these reports, or I have artificial intelligence. I see that it's been 1 year and you have not made any purchase. So maybe I will send you promotional emails that, hey, why don't you buy something? Here is exclusive discount for you, because I'm seeing that you are not buying anything from my website. So now I don't have to possibly, I'm not saying we can eliminate Google, Facebook completely, but possibly I'm building my own capability so that I have to rely less on Google or Facebook for their ads. Because I have my own database, I can run my own promotions, I can offer exclusive discounts, and then I can get the work done. So for this second part, Nagarjun, data related projects, their SQL is mandatory, but is it the responsibility of a BA to be involved in data related work? At least as of now, no. They require data analyst and not business analyst in the data related work side. Okay. So Arun is asking, do we require data visualization tools like Power BI, and is it included in this program? So Arun, Power BI or Tableau or any data visualization tool is actually worked upon in the data related projects that is worked by data analyst and not business analyst as such. Okay, so in this training program, will not be covering Power BI, will not be covering Tableau or any data visualization tool, because that is not the scope of this training program. If you have requirements of learning data visualization tool, then you could probably enroll for the other training programs within Harsha Trainings for Power BI or SQL. Okay. I hope I answered your queries. Do you have any other questions? Okay, if no question, guys, we'll meet tomorrow again at the same time. That is 8 a.m. IST. Tomorrow will be our demo 3. And what we will do tomorrow is we will discuss about two major topics. One is the AI impact on business analyst work, and the second would be we'll go in detail again on what is this data analyst, what is business analyst, what is data analytics, data science, all those terms again, so that you can accordingly choose your path forward. So thank you everyone. We'll connect tomorrow again at 8 a.m. IST.